was running down 10th place. This was a separate practice session. He just got faster as he went along, and so did Jordan King there, who starts on the front row of the grid. In his Dallara, the son of the CEO of Sainsbury's. He's got quite an interesting view up the grid. But of course, the man of the moment here is Raffaele Marciello. Had 2 wins yesterday. We had a second place for Josh Hill in the evening race, and it was an evening race.
Yes, it was.
And Blomqvist third in that, and Blomqvist third in race 1, although in that race, Félix Serrallés was in second place. So they are the men that were on the podium yesterday, but will this young Russian be on the podium today?
Lucas Auer, Andrew.
Yeah, with one of the Prema Powerteam cars, Lucas Auer, nephew of Gerhard Berger. He's the son of Gerhard's sister, and the eyes look pretty similar. Look into that crash helmet, you see a bit of Gerhard Berger there. Gerhard's been around most of the weekend. Had Sebastian Vettel here yesterday, a graduate of this series, of course. A graduate of European Formula 3 racing. Felix Rosenqvist. Felix, bit of a worried man at the moment. The car does not seem to have the top speed. Now, Mücke Motorsport, who run this car, been here many times before. They went well in the October meeting last year. Rosenquist was quick. And here, they seem to have made some little aerodynamic tweaks. We're not really quite sure what. The car just doesn't seem to have the top speed, but neither is it that extra fast around the corners. So maybe they've done something overnight. Be interesting to see Felix Rosenqvist in his 3rd season racing in European Formula 3.
Félix Serrallés.
Yeah, the Puerto Rican driver. And he's showing us the Mercedes badge. Félix Serrallés raced in the British Championship last year, but did some guest races in Europe. Next up, this is Alex Lynn, the British driver. And Alex has been running strongly so far. Remember, this is the 3rd meeting in the F3 Euro Series. F3, I knew I'd say that soon. FIA Formula 3 Championship.
They've done a lot of racing, haven't they, already, Andrew?
Yeah, they've had the 2 meetings at Monza in the wet, and then at Silverstone in changeable conditions.
Cheever there.
Cheever Jr. Had his dramas this weekend. Son of the former Indy 500 winner. Based in Rome, as his father was when he was racing in Formula 3 before him. But interesting to see now what young Josh Hill can do, because they had a fantastic race yesterday. His first podium, of course, he's new to Formula 3. Cheever raced in the Italian Formula 3 Championship last year. Nice helicopter shot. There's the Autobahn, which heads between Frankfurt and Stuttgart. And there you see the stadium. Still some mist hanging in the air here this morning. And the crowd's coming in for the opening round of the DTM series. Of course, most of these Formula 3 races partner the DTM.
It was interesting, Andrew. We had a conversation with Josh Hill, brief conversation with Josh Hill last night. Very unassuming individual, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. Of course, he's got such a lot resting on his shoulders, a whole dynasty. 3rd generation driver. His father and grandfather world champions. Here's a man with he's a bit of a dynasty in himself. Tom Blomqvist. Father Stig was one of the great rally drivers in the 80s with the Audi Quattro. And here is Josh Hill with that London Rowing Club insignia on his helmet. Started by his father, continued by Damon, who is here this weekend. And now Josh continues it with a slightly lighter blue colour. The girls head off the grid. And you see the many nationalities. We've got Spike Goddard, who's from Australia, a couple of Australians in this. Got drivers from all around the world. The grandstands start to fill up here. They should see a cracking Formula 3 race. Obviously, with the demise of the British Formula 3 Championship, it's just going to be a mini series now. We've got this huge field of 30, close on 30 runners. I think there might be 31 at Brands Hatch in 2 weeks' time. But Kvyat, what of him? He's new to Formula 3. It's his first meeting. He is not registered for points. He's come out of the Renault 2.0 series, won the NEC Renault Championship last year, and had 7 wins in that. Had 7 wins also in the main Formula Renault Championship. Finished second in that. No Red Bull on that car. Red Bull on his helmet. There will be Red Bull on the car if he does some more rounds. That's yet to be decided, but I suspect he will be here. I think he's also just a bit of crossing himself there. The Russian. Red Bull gives you wings. Let's see if he can fly today.
Andrew, what can Marciello do from P10 on the grid then?
Well, be interesting to see. He's a very talented young man. I have seen him back in the grid in the past and really not go forward that far. Be interesting to see. It's so difficult to overtake with these cars as well, of course. But there is a lot of opportunity at Hockenheim compared with some other circuits, particularly up at that hairpin.
Yeah.
So interesting to see what Marciello does. He'll have a great setup on his Prema car. Our family in the haulage business. That's Gerhard Berger's family were. The whole Berger group have been in that business. They go off now. Just to remind you, 3 different types of engine here. The Volkswagen, the Mercedes and the Nissan, all developed from the production engine block.
So as the cars roar away then, as we've said, the crowd's beginning to fill up here, and they'll be in for a cracking Formula 3 race here at Hockenheim. The third of 3 races we've seen over the course of the weekend. The first 2 being very different, primarily because of weather conditions. This one then in the dry, still very overcast.
Yeah, one thing we're going to have to watch for is the track limits.
Yes.
They will be handing out penalties if people go over the track limits. It happened at Silverstone. It's happened in other races here. And so easy to go wide here.
Here's the grid then. Kvyat from King, Lucas Auer, then Felix Rosenqvist, Serrallés and Lynn, Eddie Cheever, Josh Hill, Tom Blomqvist, and there the winner of 2, Raffaele Marciello.
Down in 10th place.
Down in P10. Then we see Sven Muller and Harry Tinknell, Will Buller, Grenhagen, Latifi, Jan Mardenborough, Nizani, then Pippo Durrani, Michael Lewis, the American driver, and Lucas Wolff.
Yeah,
P20.
Tinknell's not having a great weekend. He's had a win already this season at Silverstone.
And then the rest of the grid there, as you can see, and it is a big grid. Rudersdorf, Van der Laar, Zeller, Giovinazzi, Richard Goddard, Spike. He was in the thick of it yesterday, Andrew, for all the wrong reasons. Galeo, Tatiana Calderon, Edward Jones. So the rest of the pack.
Ed Jones, he's a newcomer this weekend. So these Delaras, all the same chassis, but with the different teams doing their own little tweaks, mainly aero tweaks. And a few other tweaks just for driver comfort and so on. So they're coming through the stadium section.
And it's those tweaks, Andrew, that you alluded to earlier haven't helped Felix Rosenqvist.
Well, it appears not. See what happens here. See if the Mücke Motorsport team have sorted it out. Into that first corner there, where we often see all sorts of incidents. There'll be people out wide at the start of this. And then next corner, of course, the very tight second gear Ecclestone corner. Kvyat, King, Auer, Rosenquist, Serrallés and Lynn, Cheever and Hill, Blomqvist and Marciello are the top 10.
Track temperature 18.3 degrees, air temperature 13.1. And there the rest of the pack coming into grid order then. Big grid of this really rejuvenated F3 series, Andrew.
Absolutely. Near the back, Van der Laar, who had good races yesterday. He might come through the field.
There is Marciello.
Just 18 years old. Hearts beating, engine notes rising, and they're going to launch now. And who makes a good start? Everyone. Somebody is stalled on the 4th, 5th row of the grid there. Was that Hill?
I wonder. I just saw the livery of the car, and I wonder. As you've said, a few run just a bit wide there.
I think it was.
Well, there was us talking about Rosenquist and whether those tweaks have been sorted. You're absolutely... He is right at the front of the pack, Andrew, so whilst we were focusing and...
3 wide around the parabolica and down into the hairpin. Let's see if there's any dive bombing attempts down here, down the inside. Ooh, one's working. Was that Marciello, I think? People going out wide, people getting bogged down on the apex. And Sea Hill's car there, because it's quite a distinctive livery, about 7 from the back. And Rosenquist, look where Rosenquist is.
I know, absolutely remarkable. We were focusing on who'd stalled on the grid, and Rosenquist absolutely blistering away. Pippo Durrani looking good as well. Back there.
Rosenquist in second place, Serrallés third, King in the lead. Kvyat in fourth place. There's Wolf going, taking a place. Rosenquist in the lead now from Serrallés. And King and Kvyat's gone back, and Lin's in fifth, and Marciello's up to sixth, and Blomqvist is seventh, and then it's Cheever and Muller, and Latifi, the Canadian, having a good race after a terrible Saturday. Greenhagen and Sea Hill, Mardenborough in 28th. He's been having a hill right at the back of the pack, having stalled on the grid to see if he can do anything. So Marciello up to sixth. Rosenquist is leading. He's had a win, remember, this season already at Silverstone. Very unhappy yesterday. I think they made some tweaks. I think they found the problem.
Yes, that's exactly what I said just a while ago when checking out just the progress that Rosenquist had made as cars through the hairpin now. Whatever problems Rosenquist had, they seem to be have been well sorted now as he leads this from Serrallés, then King, then Kvyat.
There is Rosenquist. Was a winner last season. This is his third year in this European Formula 3 racing, a former winner of the Masters at Zandvoort as well. Probably came into this series as the favourite. Rosenquist just putting in a blistering lap, try and pull away a little bit from Serrallés. And then it's King, and then Kvyat, and then Lin. Marciello in sixth, Blomqvist seventh. Shiva in eighth, and Muller ninth, and Buller in the Nissan-powered car in 10th place. The 8 car all going out very wide there. That's Rudendorf, and the 24 car comes in. Auer, yes. So we didn't see how he did that.
No, we'll get a replay of what happened to Lucas Auer there. That wing going to have to be...
the Prema boys go to work. The Dallara Formula 3 knows cannot be changed as quickly as the Formula 1 knows, that's for certain. And meanwhile, Rosenquist under quite a bit of pressure from the Puerto Rican, Serrallés. King hanging in there in third place, Kvyat, Lin. Marciello's just gone fastest in the first cycle, a big shunt there. And
well, Mitch Gilbert involved in that. And that looks like our Indonesian...
16-year-old Indonesian, yes. The wing's gone. There's 2 cars in the same livery, and we can't see...
Nissani, I think. That's Roy Nissani. And also out is Rudersdorf there, the Marcon car. Well, safety car coming out.
Yeah, I think it should be... It could be Galil in the RR Racing. He's the 16-year-old Indonesian driver. And then the other one, or it's 17, exactly the same livery, which is Giovinazzi. And look, Pretty sure it's Galil. Pretty sure it's Galil.
So just watching this replay to see where that... it's right underneath that.
Yeah.
So that was Nissany then, who
Nissany
then collected.
Yeah. Collected Galil. This will bring out the safety car.
And there, another replay of it, Andrew. And, well, doing everything he could to avoid, but...
Yeah, so... 2 Mücke cars going out.
And here from another angle. Did he get tagged there by Rudersdorf?
Yeah, I think he did.
So, safety car deployed. And...
Boy, it went in hard, didn't it?
Yeah, countless replays of that incident. Here we see it again. And that was where the initial touch was.
Nissany, yeah. It's the Israeli driver. He's a youngster. And definitely into Galil. Rosenquist then will lead them. That's Mitch Gilbert, isn't it?
That's Goddard.
Goddard, rather. Spike Goddard. He doesn't look that spiky, does he?
No. Oh, there's our marshal with
He's still got his pipe. You had that
Yes.
pipe on yesterday. Our safety car friend. He's in charge of that board. And there is a T-Sport driver. Oh, raised a little smile there. Well, Indonesian with the backing from the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Josh Hill's got himself onto the first page of the timing screen. 22nd place now. Marciello now 5th.
Well, of course, this safety car will bunch them all up, Andrew, and...
Somebody's scribbled a little notice on the back of that. I'm afraid my German's not good enough. There's Hill in the bluey-green car. Drive-through penalty for Mardenborough for a jump start. He's finding this Formula 3 campaign pretty difficult. The young man so successful with the gaming and then did such a great job last year in the Nissan GT car. Nissan paid for him to go out and do the Toyota Racing Series in New Zealand, get some single-seater experience, and then put him right into this maelstrom of the FIA Formula 3 Championship. Showed some signs of speed, but he still has plenty to learn. It's only his second season of racing, for heaven's sake.
Yes. So Marciello we just saw going through there, and Blomqvist, so Marciello down there P6, Blomqvist P7, and with this safety car, Andrew, Marciello must be thinking, right.
Well, it's taken him close, hasn't it? To the,
yep.
He's already moved up 5 spots.
Yes, he has. He's already worked very, very hard in the opening stages.
Remember, the clock ticks away, and this will be a timed race now. There's 25 minutes. There's plenty of racing to go yet. That's Daniil Kvyat in the Carlin, 5th Carlin team car. There's Hill, stalled. And another one stalled as well, right at the back. That's Hill getting away. We didn't see that picture originally.
No.
But we did spot it.
Everyone did well to avoid.
He was so close to being whacked, wasn't he?
Very well to avoid. And then a brilliant start from Rosenquist. Absolutely blistering.
Yeah. How did he do that?
Jordan King with a bit of pressure there, but Lucas Auer as well.
Yeah, we didn't see how Auer had his nose damaged.
No, we didn't. And that, a replay of the horrible crash that's caused the safety car to come out.
All the pit boards there. Tatiana, Calderon. First round we had 2 lady drivers. We haven't seen Michelle Cerruti since. We understand she might be coming back.
So cars under investigation include Andre Rudersdorf, then car number 8, and car number 15, Richard Spike Goddard. Just getting that information from race control. Safety car coming in this lap, Andrew.
Yeah, we're back racing again here at Hockenheim at the FIA Formula 3 Championship race. Already it'll be the 9th race of their campaign. At Brands Hatch in a couple of weeks' time. It's going to be pretty busy around the 1.3 mile Indy circuit with some 30 Formula 3 cars. Zeller going through. There's Hill. The lights are out and we'll be racing again. Serrallés in second place. Rosberg still weaving to try and get some tyre temperature, keep up the tyre temperature and pressure.
And it's down now to Rosenquist then to pace this away.
There he goes.
So Rosenquist, Serrallés, then King.
Now watch for Marciello. He's got Lynn in his sights. Brave move down the inside. Goodness me. Chiva having his best run thus far in this championship. Mardenborough serving the drive-through.
So Rosenquist then managing to get away, but this is where the pressure is. And Jordan King goes through, but with Serrallés, no, Jordan King has gone through. I wonder whether Serrallés might be able to get him on the undercut there, but not so. So change there. Now King comes back.
That's an excellent battle for second place.
Yes.
And Kvyat being challenged as well.
Marciello there now as well.
Could get back into this rhythm now. Rosenquist in the lead. Whatever the problem was yesterday has been sorted.
So Rosenquist then from King, from Serrallés.
Kvyat, Lynn, Marciello, Muller having another good run. Blomqvist. After Blomqvist is Chiva, and then Buller, and Tinknell, and Latifi.
So that was the dive up the inside of Serrallés then.
Good move by Jordan King,
King made.
King raced a lot against Hill last year in that Renault 2.0 NEC series. He's new to it. There's a Mirago flying.
Yes, that's the end of that one.
Yep. That'll be a nice little souvenir from Marshall later. There's Buller being turned around.
Oh, he's right in the middle of the
back. Yellow flag's waving furiously, and Buller's got to spin it around. Just got
that was
up there. You see that?
Just see that again. Tinknell, I think it is, isn't it? That just gives him a launch there. Yes, it is.
It is, yeah. And a bit of damage to Tinknell's nose as well, and his car's going wide, and This is further down the pack, racing furiously here, almost like the old days of Formula 3 back 30 years ago. There's Latifi in the two-tone blue car, the young Canadian, only in his second full season of racing. Rosenquist, King, Serrallés, Kvyat, Lin. Marciello hasn't found a way around Lin. Muller's 7th. Blomqvist is in 8th spot. Shiva, Durrani. Wolf having a good run up in 11th. Latifi is 12th. Hill's gone up 3 or 4 places to 16th.
And in now with damage is Tinknell then.
Yeah, that must have damaged. You see the damage on the nose as he comes in. The extra driver likes to go rock climbing when he's not racing.
And there it is again.
Yeah. Really spun him round, didn't he? Just looking at the times, Hill.
Just looking there, I think Marciello has got past Lin. Yes, there is Marciello.
There's Blomqvist going through.
So Raffaele Marciello now going to chase down Kvyat in P4.
Yeah, King's just had a fastest first sector and a good middle sector as well.
There's a race leader. There's Félix Serrallés, P3. Then we see Kvyat and then Raffaele Marciello now.
Up into 5th place.
Kvyat goes wide, so too does... Sorry, that was King going wide, and that was Serrallés going wide. So Rosenquist then out front.
Hours down there in 17th place after his problems with the nose.
Just looking at the...
There's a replay, Dave.
And
that's a Marciello pass.
That's how he got through.
He goes past his Prema Powerteam teammate.
Now under pressure is our race leader Felix Rosenquist. I was just looking at the times for Jordan King, and he's very, very quick at the moment and really pounding on the back now of Felix Rosenquist. Andrew, you can see the times there as he goes through.
Yeah, but does he go wide?
No, because Rosenquist is going to go
back into the lead.
And this is allowing Serrallés to get on terms as well.
Serrallés tries to go, that's brave round the outside round there. He's got the inside though for the Sachs curve. Great move. So King looks as if he's going to take the lead. Suddenly he's gone back to 3rd. Kvyat's watching all this in 4th, and now they're side by side again.
So brilliant racing from F3 here at Hockenheim. That, of course, has played into the hands of Felix Rosenquist, who's been able just to get up the road a little bit. Also in the mix there is Kvyat, and Raffaele Marciello, of course, is looking on as well in P5 now. Just see him in shot. There's a race leader. So King under real pressure. There's race leader, there's P2, and this is where the battle starts.
And Marciello still looking dangerous back there in 5th place. Can he make it to the podium? They fan out again. And King doing a phenomenal job.
So Rosenquist, then Serrallés. King really having to defend against Kvyat now. And Marciello there, big lock-up from Kvyat.
Look at Marciello.
Who's through into P3. King being pushed back to P4 and into the clutches of Raffaele Marciello, potentially. There's Marciello. Behind him is Lin. So all changing through this pack, Andrew. The one person that is enjoying time at the front, though, is Rosenquist, who's now 1.5 seconds in the lead.
Serrallés still hanging there in 2nd place. Marciello charging hard. Hill still moving up the field, incidentally. Cheever in 9th, Blomqvist 8th, Muller in 7th. Van der Laar there is 13th. Marciello has a huge lead in this championship. He's got double the points of anyone else. Yes. Is he just going to play it cool now?
Well, he said to you...
Yep. Yesterday, I've learned some lessons from last year, and one of them's maybe sometimes you don't go for the win. You have to bank some points. But I'm sure he'd like to at least get on the podium, and that's still a possibility. I mean, look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as quick as that. Rosenquist driving well.
And of course, this will help his he's second in the championship, isn't he? But as you say, Marciello with such a lead in the championship, as we're watching Sven Muller there.
And Kvyat, remember, does not score any points. Everyone else moves up a place, and there is Hill having a moment.
That with
Auer is also coming back through the field.
So there then is our race leader. On the laps, we're half distance. Bear in mind, we've had a safety car, so the clock may come into play.
It will, Dave, yeah.
13 minutes and a bit remaining in this race, so we're not going to go full lap distance. It's going to be on the clock. Felix Rosenqvist then, and there the comparisons between Rosenquist and Serrallés over the last 3 laps.
Seesawed a bit, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Moment, Rosenquist got that 1.8 second buffer back to Serrallés. Then it's Kvyat, King, Marciello, Lin Muller, Blomqvist, Cheever, and Pippo Durrani rounding out the top 10.
One we haven't mentioned, Mitch Gilbert in 18th place. Rosenquist and Serrallés.
So
Marciello under a bit of pressure.
Got past King, didn't he? Yeah. And King trying to fight back. Yeah. He's in the middle of that Marciello-Lin pairing now is split by Jordan King. So Marciello just quietly going about his business, Andrew.
Yeah, well, he's a quiet young man. That was how he did it, because King
locked up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a mistake, wasn't it?
So Marciello gifted that place, and King fighting back afterwards. Rosenquist now increased his lead to 2 seconds. He's the only man in the 133s at the moment. It was Auer.
Yes, having a bit of a moment there.
Came back in front of Hill.
Just looking at the screen, where's Josh Hill now? P15.
Yeah, it's been there for a little while.
There's our race leader going through. There is Serrallés in 2nd place. Back down the order we go. King and Lin 5th and 6th.
Now, Marciello will know that Kvyat doesn't score any points.
Yeah.
Is he going to try and challenge him? That's the question. As far as championship points concerned, it makes no difference. As far as a podium is concerned, it does. Kvyat from the pole, doing a strong job here. I'm sure Red Bull are going to be happy with that. Oh, that's very...
And that's Serrallés.
And some of these black and white flags are coming through. And Lin's had one. The 19 car of Grenhagen, I haven't mentioned him much, he's had one. I think he had one yesterday. And the 9 car of Wolf, they've all had black and white flags wave. If they go wide again, they'll get a drive-through.
And is that Tinknell getting a drive-through penalty? That will be for that
yes, he
launch on Buller.
Yeah. But his race compromised anyway, so Rosenquist now increased the lead to 2.7 seconds. That's the Mücke Motorsport squad.
So there then, lovely high shot here of the action that's going on here at Hockenheim. And here, our race leader, Felix Rosenqvist then.
He's pulling away now, isn't he?
Just under 3 seconds up the road.
Yeah, with 9 minutes remaining.
So,
Serrallés, Kvyat, and then the championship leader, Marciello.
So as they cross the line now, we'll check out what the gap is. And 3 seconds now Rosenquist has over that man, Félix Serrallés. He's a little off, won't have helped that much. Kvyat in P3, then Marciello. Here is Félix Serrallés. And you have to say, looking at this, whether Marciello is just driving very, very sensibly, Andrew, and thinking of the bank rather than, as you say, the driver in front of him effectively invisible in terms of points.
Yeah, next race, of course, Brands Hatch, where he had a great meeting last year. So we'll have that in the back of his head. Here we are, sort of midfield runners. There's the Iranis, wolves of this world. Yeah, Rosenquist really in his stride, lapping in the high 33s, low 34s. There's Muller in the 7 car from the Marcon team. Lynn and Muller. There's a bit of a battle going on there for 6th place, Dave. Look, they're only 0.4 of a second apart.
So 3.1, the distance that at the time that Rosenquist is up to just a 10th further over Félix Serrallés. There at the back of that pack is Muller.
We mentioned it yesterday, but the average age here is around about 20. The oldest man in this race is Michael Lewis. He's 22 years old.
It's remarkable.
This is where the young heroes of tomorrow are coming from. Some of them, maybe a couple of them will make it into Formula One, but several of the others will maybe be in the DTM or in other top series.
All a bit spaced out now.
Yeah, finally. Well, now we got 2
battle
cars.
Is Lynn here. Oh, and a big lock up there.
And a bit of bodywork lost as well.
That was Muller.
Yeah.
Locked up on his charge on Alex Lynn.
I think he might have lost a little bit of his front wing. And that was for 6th place.
Now, with tiny damage like that, Andrew, what does that do to compromise the car's performance?
Well, it's going to hurt the downforce at the front. Probably promote some understeer. Just depends which bit they've knocked off, really.
Yeah.
There's a nice shot of Marciello. But, still 5 minutes to go. We won't get to the 22 laps. I think we might get to 20.
Wondering whether King is getting ever closer to Marciello now, whether... Just have a look at the times, Andrew, to see what Marciello and what King are doing back there, whether Marciello is going to come under a bit of pressure here. And just as I say that, diving up the inside
goes King. Can he make it stick into the next corner?
Marciello right off onto the green.
Yep.
Wouldn't have done that yesterday, but he has got the right line through that turn, hasn't he? All of a sudden, he's under a bit of pressure, Andrew.
He is, and King having his best race in this Formula 3 campaign. Man from Leamington Spa.
You'll note at the top of your screen as King locks up there that it's gone from laps to the countdown clock now. 4 minutes remain in this F3 race. There the Marciello King battle. Prema Powerteam.
Yeah, there's the power team from Northern Italy.
It's a replay of King diving up the inside there of Marciello. Marciello out wide. But kept the momentum and kept the speed, Andrew. And then was perfectly placed for that corner.
Yes, he was. And Marciello with 2 wins already this weekend. He's going to go away with a big haul of points.
Yes,
nearest rival is Rosenquist. So Rosenquist will reduce the gap a little bit at the top, but remember, the Italian has got double the points of Rosenquist. There's Latifi. He's in a good old battle there, Latifi, and Auer is starting to challenge him.
And it's Auer that's going to win that little battle, isn't it? No, maybe
Oh,
not.
look at Latifi. Whoa. Got that wrong in the end, and Hill's got himself stuck in that battle as well.
Yes, he has. I mean,
and he goes past Latifi as well.
Josh has done wonders, really, from his stall on the grid to be back where he is. They're fighting over 12th, 13th, 14th place. And here a replay of that.
We've got Van der Laar, of course, mixed up in all that as well.
Lock up.
You see, for Latifi, it's only his 2nd year of car racing. He was still karting last year, in fact. Had a sort of dual campaign in Canada last year.
There.
Bit of empty track between him and the 2nd and 3rd place men, as Marciello's pulled out a couple of places now. There's Roy Nassani. Well, he's okay. Gets patted on the back by the Mücke team. They'll have some work to do.
So into the final minute and a half of this F3 race, which is, barring disaster, going to go the way of Felix Rosenqvist.
Be his 2nd win of the season. He had a victory at Silverstone.
Yep.
Serrallés 2nd. Kvyat for his 1st Formula 3 podium. But King's look good as well.
Yes, and Sven Muller there in P7. But
Chiva's still up in 9th place. It'll be his best result so far. Man who battled for the lead of the Italian Formula 3 Championship last year. There's Rosenquist in the lead now by 4.5 seconds from Serrallés, Puerto Rican, whose dad was a famous powerboat throttle man for the victory team of Dubai in the big Class 1 offshore boats.
so this is the final lap then in the final race from Formula 3 here at Hockenheim this weekend.
David, it's a mark of a good team like Mücke. They had it wrong and they sorted it overnight.
Yes. They've
Found whatever the problem was. And he was round the hairpin for the last time under power. And Serrallés still under pressure.
So Marciello we're seeing there now is
and Kvyat.
Marciello on this final lap defending against King.
Yeah, King.
Now King has looked
just in front.
King has looked menacing at times. Of course, King also having to defend from Lynn, who's right behind him as well. King's right in the middle of that sandwich, if you like. But Marciello, I have to say, Andrew, doing exactly as he suggested that he was going to, and thinks about banking points rather than trying to be the hero and get out onto the podium. He's known all along that Kvyat is going to be invisible.
So the Swede, Felix Rosenqvist, takes the third and final race here at Hockenheim. He swerves across the line. His second win of the year, maintains second place in the championship. Serrallés is second. Kvyat on the podium in only his third Formula 3 race. Marciello, the championship leader, is fourth. King has a good run to fifth. The fellow Brit Lynn is sixth. Muller for Germany is seventh. Then it's Blomqvist in eighth place. Chiva, Durrani, Wolf with a better than usual result, hour after his dramas. Hill after his stall in 13th. Got past Van der Laar right at the last moment. And after Van der Laar, it's Latifi and Lewis and Buller and Gilbert and Grenhagen, and then Jones and Zeller and Mardenborough. They're the Fortec team, but a good day for Peter Mücke, for his technical director, Peter Fluckinger. There's Félix Serrallés, second place with the Rumback car. And on the cooling down lap then, Serrallés, very good drive by the young man. Well, they're all young men, as we said. He was another that went out and raced in New Zealand over the winter. And third in the British Formula 3 Championship last year, of course, behind Jack Harvey and Jafar.
So there, a replay of Rosenquist then as he heads towards the checkered flag to take this win. And swerves, as you say, as he crosses the line.
And of course, new sponsors for Mücke Motorsport this year, the orange colours of the online parts distribution business. And I'm sure they've got lots of guests here. Team boss Peter Mücke also runs the satellite Mercedes team, was a famous autocross, German autocross racer back in the day. Had a lot of success, was the German autocross champion, done some historic car racing. But he'll be pleased with his boys for sorting the car out with Felix Rosenqvist. Excellent drive from the Swede. So we've got two of the established stars of European Formula 3 racing up at the front of this championship, Dave.
Yes.
But then we've got all sorts of newcomers, youngsters, right in there behind. But Felix Rosenqvist will go away from this weekend happy now after the disasters of yesterday. He just didn't have the speed, straight line speed in the car. Still the mist hangs a little bit over Hockenheim.
Here's the result then.
Yeah, Rosenqvist winning in the end by just under 5 seconds from Serrallés and Daniil Kvyat. And you notice he's got his website on his side of his car and his Twitter handle. Talking of Twitter handles, you can reach us at @PitLaneAndy, Wolf 11th, hour 12th. Josh Hill in 13th place after a character building drive.
Yeah, but he did very, very well to get back up there to 13th. And I was just looking, the other Buller who got turned around ended up 17th.
Yeah.
He's not having a brilliant start to his season, is he?
No. Of course, he had Volkswagen backing last year, didn't he? So there's Felix with the 3 crowns of Sweden on the back of his crash helmet. Another win for Mercedes-Benz rather than Volkswagen Power. The movement in the grandstands. They head off maybe for a bratwurst before the DTM. It's coming up in a while. What have they got next on the programme, Dave? We've got a break now before...
some of those fantastic taxi rides that we see going on around the circuit.
I think BMW are using one of the old M1 Pro cars for taxi rides. Here's the Drivers' Championship then. Marciello, 171.5. Rosenquist on a round 100. Alex Lynn is third, just half a point ahead of Serrallés, moved up Auer. Tinknell, Blomqvist, Verline, of course, no longer in the championship. Josh Hill in the top 10, and then Buller, 9 races down, 3 more to come at Brands Hatch. Jordan King moves up to 11th, Muller 12th, Durrani, Latifi, Van der Laar, Chiva. Mardenborough's got 4 points, Wolf 1, and all the rest are on 0. Points down to 10th place. So waiting for the podium ceremony. There's Damon Hill. And Nico Rosberg and...
Nico Hülkenberg.
Hülkenberg, sorry.
So you were saying Vettel was here yesterday. We've seen Rosberg,
Vettel,
haven't we?
Rosberg was meant to be doing his presentation. Put my brain back in, I think.
Hülkenberg now. It's very cool and composed, Andrew.
I think that's Christian Danner, actually, in the blue jumper. Aged a bit since we saw him racing. With a little thumbs up. Nice pointing to that Mercedes badge.
Yeah.
Telling Toto Wolff something.
Yes.
Or maybe the family of the Mercedes-Benz importers for Puerto Rico. All right, there's
see all the people behind there.
Felix, has good backing from designers of shopping centres in Sweden. Was talking of moving up to GP2. Weren't able to find the full budget for that. So here he is back in Formula 3 and back on the top step of the podium, Felix Rosenqvist. Serrallés punches the air for the Fortec team and Richard Dutton and the gang. And there's Peter Mücke. And then for Carlin Kvyat. Hats off. Swedish national anthem. Yeah, Kvyat with that Russian flag on his Red Bull driver suit. The family moved to Rome when he was a teenager. There's Nico Hülkenberg then, presents the winner's trophy. Another graduate of European Formula 3 racing, of course. Serrallés trying to get the crowd to cheer. Damon Hill handing the trophy to the representative of Mücke Motorsport. Then Christian Danner, former Formula 1 driver.
Does like bigging it up, does Serrallés?
Yeah, he does, yeah. See, he's got the braces to straighten his teeth. And the gentleman from Hankook Tyres. at all the Carlin boys down there. They're running 5 cars. And hold the trophies up. He's a bit of a jockey, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Little Felix.
Yes.
Been racing a long time. And I think when he was about 15, he was racing out in that Chinese Pilota series. Or maybe it was Formula BMW Asia, but anyway, he was based in China. What an amazing thing for a young 15-year-old from Sweden. Well, his engineer gets it. And it gets it back, so. Now off to the press conference. Ushered there by Anya. Thanks, Anya, for giving us that password for the
yes, that's helped
wireless. We couldn't get the wireless working up here, so we can look at your Twitter feeds now. David, you're not really into Twitter yet, are you?
No.
I'm on at Pitlane Andy.
So more photos being taken then, and just a little bit of a replay here of the podium ceremony, and the Henkel Trocken being sprayed across the podium places.
Yeah, nice slow-mo shots from our colleagues at Vega. And here are the highlights of the third and final Formula 3 race of the weekend. Daniil Kvyat it was who started in pole position, but it was Felix Rosenqvist who made a blinding start and went into the lead of the race and held it to the end. Félix Serrallés of Puerto Rico was second. Kvyat came home an excellent third in only his third Formula 3 race, but Marciello continued his lead of the championship. There were a shunt or two on the way. Fortunately, no injuries. And Formula 3 racing will resume in a couple of weeks' time at Brands Hatch. From me, Andrew Marriott, for Dave Richardson, it's goodbye. Until then.
Bye-bye.